Hi, I'm Martyn, and welcome to the latest PopBucket Podcast. With me today is James.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And Zara's back.
Hey!
A jubilant return there.
Yeah. No one else is excited.
So how's everyone been doing? Anything exciting?
Yeah, good shiz on my part anyway. Don't know about you guys. But I'm amazing. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. It's nice to have you back, Zara. It's been many weeks.
It has been many weeks. I do apologise. Gail's been busy.
Gail's been doing a long commute.
Yeah, long commutes. Paying off though, so that's good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have been up to some things.
That's exciting.
Some things. Did a review for Lost Planet 3, a little bit late. Blame the Royal Mail, or the Royal Fail. Yeah, so that's up on the site now. Quite a good game, actually. I really quite enjoyed the story. Bits of the gameplay were quite ordinary. Some of it quite interesting, but actually the story kind of just made it work, carried it.
Because I heard people were slightly annoyed that it turned into something of a sort of generic kind of chest-high wall cover shooter, but the atmosphere is very good.
Yeah, that's a fair statement, really. It was kind of there was some Gears of War type sort of cover shooting in it.
Yeah.
And you kind of the grappling hook kind of platformy bits that were in the old games was kind of dumbed down a bit, which was a bit of a shame. But what they did introduce was basically the main protagonist is like a construction worker on this sort of alien planet, and they're drilling for thermal energy, which is like the renewable energy source of the future. And he actually utilizes something called a rig, which is like a giant mech for construction. So it's got like an arm, a drill arm. It's got like a fist and like a claw that it can grapple things with. And actually, for part of the game, you're actually controlling this rig in a sort of first-person perspective, so you can actually just stomp around the landscape and sort of do battle with giant aliens and stuff. So it's quite cool. It's got like a sort of bit of a Pacific Rim feel about it, because you're sort of fighting giant ice crabs with this giant robot and sort of, giving them a big metal fist in the face, which is it's quite enjoyable. But having said that, like, the experience does kind of slow down a bit about halfway through, because you kind of get used to stomping around in it. It feels quite sluggish, but yeah, the combination of the two I thought worked really well. And I'd be quite keen to see what they pull out of the bag for the next generation, because they've quite clearly set up a new storyline and sort of reinvented the Lost Planet franchise, which is, I think, it's all to the good for me.
Yeah. Because I played the first two. I can't remember what mechanic it was, but it's something that was so archaic feeling about Lost Planet 1. Obviously, I played it last year, and it is an old game now, I think, Lost Planet.
I think it was like a launch game, wasn't it, for Xbox? Yeah, it's
kind of dated now. So
yeah, I mean, I played that one. It was probably in 2008 or something when it maybe first came out. But there was something. It didn't have cover mechanics, did it? But it did. It was quite arcadey.
I agree with that. It still has, though, the giant orange glowing spots on enemies.
Yeah, like there's a bit like Dead Space in that sense.
Yeah.
There's sort of the I think I said in my review, like the shooting mechanic and strategy can be sort of summed up in one sentence, which is just like shoot the orange bits or whatever. Which is it kind of feels a bit odd, but I don't know. They're not as in your face as they used to be. I don't think, the orangey bits, and some of them are sort of shielded by armor, so you need to use like your mech to kind of smash the icy kind of shielding that they've got, and then you kind of expose their soft orangey bits.
Yeah, but because that's such an old mechanic that I can't see. I've been thinking how they can modernise that sort of mechanic, but I just can't see how that can be done. Really
it's
easily.
tricky, isn't it? It's a bit like all the bosses in Dead Space have got, if exactly the same actually, orangey kind of glowing bulbous bits on their tendrils and things like that. And you kind of think it's nice to know there's a weak spot, but maybe some sort of, I don't know, hub element or something like that. I don't know. There would be a better way to do it in the future, probably.
Yeah.
A bit less garish.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to play that game soon.
Yeah, you should. You all should. The main character, Jim Payton's an absolute legend. Like he's kind of just an ordinary man, really, from America, who kind of goes to earn money to provide for his family back on Earth. And it's just a really simple storyline. He just goes there, gets embroiled in this sort of political kind of conflict. But actually, as a character, he's really, really likable. Yeah, you kind of think, oh, Jim. But, I'd give it a go. You guys, you'll enjoy it.
Cool.
Yeah, well, me and Mike have been playing a lot of Payday 2 recently.
Oh, yeah.
It's playing solo. It's terrible because the AI is really bad.
Like terrible,
absolutely
like, terrible.
Friendly
what,
AI
so
and
playing with
enemy.
Michael's better?
It's surprisingly, it is a bit better. Mike managed to elevate himself above AI that just stands in the opposite side of the room
and does nothing.
To the SWAT team.
Is this your sort of companion AI as well as the enemies? Oh, right. Mm.
I mean, the enemy AI is pretty stupid, but the companion AI is like dumb. Like really, it's like they just wander around through the place, right past cameras. They set off shit. They don't go in at the right time. It's awful. It's like playing with a group of like bothersome fucking children, if you pardon my French. But as a co-op experience, which I'm sure Mike was going to go on to say, this game is actually pretty good because, like, the different character, you can spec your character how you want. And obviously people choose to spec their character different ways. So as a team, one guy may be better at, like, drilling into the vault. Another guy may be better at suppressing enemies. So, you know, he's the guy who gives you cover fire. Another guy might be good at stealth. So he might go around, deactivate the cameras. So, I mean, as a team experience, it's actually pretty good.
So it gives you something that plays to your strength, and your playing style,
and it encourages teamwork as well, rather than everyone going off like John Q. Rambo, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that does sound quite good. I like to be a bit of a maverick sometimes, but as you'll know,
doesn't always play by the rules, but gets results.
Exactly.
If you play with us, James, you'll be kicked off.
It's something like that, is it? Yeah, I mean, you've played like Mass Effect with me. You know, I like to go off and be a hero sometimes, but yeah, no, I like the sound of that. I do like the sound of that.
Left 4 Dead, but with bank robberies instead.
Yeah.
So you have the enemy, you have a basic policeman. But then you have guys with tasers,
Marty, not lasers.
It's not laser quest. Tasers, a bit more deadly. Then you have like the Juggernaut guys that come in just like with like bomb disposal. You know, like the Hurt Locker.
Oh yeah,
that kind of suit.
Like the tanks in Modern Warfare, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly like that. And he comes in, and you just all got to scramble. And kill him. But yeah, it's really good fun actually. It's a good co-op game, and hopefully Overkill, the developers, they're adding 5 DLC. I'm hoping they add sort of a bit of free bits as well, and there's lots of tweaking they can do to make it a bit better.
We should mention as well, you mentioned Left 4 Dead. Like Left 4 Dead, Payday actually, it has an AI director as well. So even if you do the same mission again, the layout is different. So where the camera is, where the guards are patrolling and stuff, so you can't just like phone it in. You have to be on your game every time, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
You can't learn say like in Sonic 2 speedruns, you can learn and perfect a speedrun perfectly. You can do it quickly in Payday 2 when you get all the skills, but you still have to look every corner for a different camera might pop up. So yeah, it does encourage you to play properly, and it's good fun. Different experience, which I think you should all get to play one time.
Yeah, I like the sound of it. Do you think it's got longevity? Because like Left 4 Dead, I kept playing that for years really.
Yeah, and now we're talking about it. I want to play it right now.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking, Left 4 Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
do love Left 4 Dead. It's one of my favourite games. That as well. Yeah. But yeah, they're adding 5 DLC packs over next year, and I think they're adding some free stuff as well, and they can keep it going.
Yeah.
And they said they made a profit on pre-orders alone, so there's definitely going to be like a third one. So,
what was the first Payday? Because I'd never heard of Payday 1. And just Payday 2 sort of popped up. And I thought, wonder what the first one was about.
It was a PSN exclusive, the first one. I'm certain of that. And again, it was similar, but there's a bit more development now with like skill trees more in place and stuff like that.
Okay.
A bit more variety. But I haven't really played it. I played it quickly when it was on the PlayStation Plus, but it's a cheap game. It's like 20-ish or £25 brand new, so I'll definitely invest in it now if you can.
Yeah, well, I might check it out. Check it out. Have you guys? You're on the PS3 version though, probably.
Yeah. You got to have friends with it, otherwise don't buy it. Actually.
Yeah, I was just thinking like.
That's another one to add to my list, then, is it, James?
Add that to your list with your Payday loan.
Okay, with my Wonga Payday loan.
if you don't coordinate getting Payday 2 with anyone else, don't buy it. It'd be a waste of money. I'd say if you're going to play it yourself.
The keynote I'll take away from that is line Zara up first. I've been playing Mirror's Edge again because I've run out of things to review and having a bit of sort of downtime on the console, which is quite cool. So I thought I'll revisit a classic that I haven't managed to complete yet. And God, it's hard to get back into.
I did exactly the same as you. I played it for another half hour and stopped at ending. I was in anger. There was this one bit where a chopper comes in and is gunning you down. I just cannot see how I can do it.
Oh, is that into the big basin? There's all sorts of choppers going around. But I was trying last night for about half an hour to wall run and then jump to an opposite wall. It was just impossible. I did it about 50 times. And every time you do it, you fall to your death. And the sound of her bones breaking, it just started to drive me nuts. But it's a fantastic game. I just can't figure out my old skills, really. So I need to do a little demo.
Problem I had.
Yeah.
I forgot what the buttons were.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And there's only like 2 buttons. So I was thinking, this is just embarrassing. But I was amazed, actually, because I thought this game, I think it came out in 2008, maybe 2009.
Yeah,
it still looks fantastic. Like the graphics and the style, I think, is just beautiful.
Am I correct in thinking they're making a second?
They are starting to confirm. So hopefully they won't dumb it down, like adding in more shooting and stuff like that. They just put in Frostbite 3, make it bigger, grander.
Yeah, because to be honest, the best thing about it was the free running. Rather than the combat. The combat was always kind of a weak link in that game. Yeah,
you can you can take a weapon off of a soldier, can't you, and go around shooting people. But I try not to, because I think it's more fun being a pacifist and being a bit evasive.
You can get an achievement for that as well, I think, for going to a level just without harming anyone or shooting anyone.
Right.
Not war.
I've punched a few blokes in the face, so I probably won't achieve. I'm not a complete pacifist, but so I was quite enjoying it, apart from the fact that I can't scale a wall. Maybe today.
Give it another try, James.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched any good movies recently? Or
yes.
Yeah. That's
enthusiasm.
I think Zara's going up here now.
Shoot.
Well, obviously I've not been on the podcast for a while, so I've got all these films that are building up, but I'm trying to remember all of them that I've watched. So the ones that I've written down here, I've written 4 down, which are new releases that I've watched. Probably not so new releases now, but the first one I watched, which was really good, was The Conjuring. I don't know if any of you have seen that.
I liked that.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. So good horror. It's probably the best horror that we've had in a long time. With like Devil Inside was just absolutely awful, and everything has just been like kind of 4 stars and under. But Conjuring is at a good 7 at least. So
Yeah.
it's a real old school kind of horror, which is really good, I thought.
Yeah, I don't think it did anything too new, but what it
No.
did exceptionally well compared to other films.
Yeah.
It was just very well done.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, and Patrick Wilson in it is really good. It helps that he's
Yeah.
attractive to look at. Easy on the eye is what I'd like to say.
Is that the people that they made Insidious, didn't they?
James
Yeah.
Wan, yeah, he did Insidious.
Right. I saw Insidious last week. That was really good as well.
Yeah. Second one's out. I haven't seen it.
It's out yesterday actually in
Yeah.
England.
Friday 13th, bruv. That's when it came out.
Oh yeah, 13.
Yeah. Okay, the other one that I saw, which again isn't new now, it's probably like a month and a bit old, is We're the Millers.
Oh yeah, I
It's
saw
the
it.
Jennifer Aniston film, and I was actually surprised. I thought it was going to be a little bit lame, but it was really funny, and Jason Sudeikis in it is really hilarious. Because obviously
Is that the
he's
one where Jennifer Aniston? Because I read about this before it came out, where she
Yeah.
plays like a angry,
stripper.
frustrated kind of stripper.
yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah, that's all I need to say, isn't it? And then you were like, "Yeah, I'll go see it."
I'll give it a watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would. But yeah, it's actually really funny. It's like made by the same kind of guys who did Horrible Bosses. So it's kind of, if you've seen that and you liked it, because Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston are both in that as well, but they're not as prominent in that as they are in The Millers. But they say some absolutely hilarious stuff that like I would say in conversations with my friends, like just joking around and stuff. And it is really funny. It is a good film to see. I gave that one like a solid 7 as well. Another 2. This is long. I had a bit of a Mark Wahlberg day.
Mark Day.
Mark. And I watched back to back. I watched Two Guns and I watched Pain and Gain. So, it's stuff sometimes.
Is that with The Rock? The Rock was in
Pain and Gain is with The Rock.
Pain and Gain.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Two Guns is Denzel. A bit of Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll talk about Two Guns first. Two Guns was better out of the two because it was more like, I don't know, it's just kind of like undercover. They were both undercover cops, but they didn't realise that each other were undercover cops and stuff, and they're just trying to... But the only problem is that Denzel seems to play like the same kind of characters now, like in Training Day. That's like, since Training Day, he's played like the same character, where he's like, he can be taken seriously, but like he is joking a lot of the time, so he just like sits there and stares someone out and then he's laughing. But yeah,
that is Training Day.
it is Training Day, but that's kind of the role that he's done in this as well. And he did it in Unstoppable, and he did it in some others. But if there's a really funny, just a side link, there's a really funny video, I think it's an SNL video, like a little skit about Unstoppable. And it's like obviously two guys one pretending to be Denzel, the other pretending to be Chris Pine, and they're just doing Unstoppable in the space of like 2 minutes, and it's possibly the funniest thing I've seen. If you watch that, you'll see exactly what I mean about Denzel's character, in like summed up in that little nutshell. But yeah, Two Guns is a good film. I would say go and see Two Guns. If you're going to see one out of Two Guns and Pain and Gain, probably Two Guns. Pain and Gain, I thought it was going to be funnier than what it was. I know it's based on a true story, but it wasn't. I think all the best parts of it was kind of in the trailer, which is sad. But
Michael
it was
Bay
still
film?
good. Yeah, it's a Michael Bay film, but I think it's quite average, really. It was nothing.
How was Mr. Dwayne's performance? Because he's variable sometimes, isn't he? Old Rocky.
He's terrible. Oh, he's so cute in this one, though. Because he plays like a recovering... I think he's recovering from drugs, and he's been clean. He doesn't drink or anything. He's been clean for quite a while, and he's like an ex-con. So an ex-con? That's not the right word. He was in jail before, so he's finding it hard to get work and stuff. And then he ends up getting a job with, Michael Wahlberg. Apparently, he's a mixture of Michael Bay and Mark Wahlberg. And yeah, so he just like kind of gets in that way, and then he kind of loses the plot, and he gets like back on the drugs and all that kind of rubbish. But yeah, it's just I think he's funny. He's really sweet in that one, I think, because he's like trying to be really religious, and it just kind of doesn't really go very well considering what he's doing. But yeah, it's really fun. It is a fun film, but it's pretty average. It's not like, it doesn't stick out like, it's amazing. It was just kind of, yeah, okay. It's probably a DVD one, maybe not a cinema one.
Fair enough.
And the last one, which isn't a film, but I started watching a new series. I've realised I've been talking for like 10 minutes. The last one is I've started watching Orange is the New Black, the Netflix series, if anyone...
I know of it.
Oh, is that the female prison thing? Because I haven't watched that yet, but I've heard like mixed things about it. Like people saying, "Oh, I watched the first one, couldn't get into it," and equally, I've seen someone tweet something like, "Oh, I watched the first one, I can't wait for the next one." Kind of. So, what did you think?
Well, the first one, I was like, I don't know, because everyone at work were just like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! You need to watch it!" La la la. And I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a try." And then I watched the first episode, and I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Why am I watching this?" It's like the woman, like the main character. I just don't like her. I don't like her, and I just don't want to be sympathetic for her. The fact that she's gone to prison and all this rubbish. And so I just don't like her. Obviously, the first episode is basically about her going into prison and trying to like I think the first maybe half an hour. It's like an hour-long program. The first half an hour or so is like her getting ready to go into prison, and it tells you the story of why she's going into prison in a really disjointed kind of way, which I don't have an issue with. It's kind of interesting to have this information trickling through in parts rather than it being a clean-cut, like linear story. But yeah, first episode, I wasn't hooked. I was like, I really don't want to watch the second episode. I actually watched the first episode twice, not because I was confused, but because my brother came home and he wanted to watch it too. So even watching it a second time, I wasn't like, I was still undecided. I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not. But I persisted because everyone at work was like, no, it is really good. You get to meet some really good characters and stuff. So I persisted. I'm now on like episode 7, and I've got to say I am slightly hooked now because it's more about the other characters than the main character really for me. Because it tells you, like, each episode they tell you why another character is in prison, what they did. And it's just like, it is really interesting. And some funny stuff does happen. And although I'm still not 100% on the main character, some funny stuff happens to her. It really does. But I would say, yeah, if you've got time, maybe give it a watch. I'm now obsessed with the fact that I need to watch it. I need to finish. It's only like 13 episodes in season 1. So I'm already on 7, so I'm already halfway through. So I may as well finish,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Did they do like they do with the other stuff, original to Netflix, where they released the whole series at once? Like the first episode to the last episode is like available to view straight away.
I think they did.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm not too sure actually, but they did that with was it House of Cards?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and
Arrested Development. I'm sure they did release everything. I think that's what Netflix do. Actually, Breaking Bad, they're not, are they? They're doing one episode a week, aren't they?
Are they?
I think Breaking Bad. I'm sure.
I've stopped watching Breaking Bad actually. I kind of lost the plot with it a bit.
Yeah.
But everyone keeps telling me, "Oh, Breaking Bad, you got to keep watching it." I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah, well, Sophie doesn't want to watch Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad!
Yes, Breaking
I
Bad.
tell you what, I have been on Netflix. I've started watching Twin Peaks on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
the David Lynch TV series from the 90s, starring with Carl McDermott, I think it is, as Agent Dale Cooper, who likes a damn fine cup of coffee. And
weren't you watching that recently? I thought you'd already started watching that.
That was Portlandia, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. Do you not like Portlandia?
I've never seen it. I've never watched it.
Oh, you've got to give it a try. It's like a sketch show, and it's set in like Portland, Oregon, and it's like it takes the Mickey out of like the residents of the place, but it does it in like a really loving way at the same time, it's kind of a really sweet and tender thing, but at the same time the way that they target people who like deserve to be mocked is pretty cool. But anyway, Twin Peaks, which was I talking? Yes, I think I was.
Yeah.
Was it? I can't remember. Yes, I was. Anyway, Twin Peaks is one of the greatest pleasures I think I've had watching Netflix in a while. It's kind of obviously it's weird because it's David Lynch, but at the same time, I didn't realise quite how funny it was going to be. There's so much humour. Some of it, it's all pretty much intentional, and like you follow this guy Dale Cooper, who's like this FBI agent, and he is wonderfully quirky, kooky. He's kind of always surprising. He uses like Buddhist Tibetan meditation as part of his crime-solving techniques. I'd just say, just watch it. If you like something with mystery, intrigue, and humour, and you never know what's going to happen next in the next 5 minutes, then I would recommend Twin Peaks. I'm going to stop.
Twin Peaks. They a lot of the references and a lot of the characters, etc., in Deadly Premonition are sort of drawn from Twin Peaks as a sort of an inspiration source. And it's really funny. Even the sort of down to the love of coffee of the detective is kind of Twin Peaksy. But
you can call it an homage, or you can call it outright theft.
Yeah, I think it's more of the former, but yeah, it works. It works. Yeah, I love that game. You guys, if you play no other game before this generation dies, it should be Deadly Prem.
Yeah, I still want to play that. I will eventually. But what have I been watching? Oh, I want to watch Bates Motel. That's on Universal Channel now in the UK.
Saw a bit of that last night, actually.
Isn't that like Psycho? Teenage
Yeah,
years?
it's a Psycho.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah, it is.
Norman Bates, isn't it? Yeah, as a young man.
But so I haven't seen it yet. But I did watch that Blackout, that Channel 4 docudrama.
We watched that
people
last
were
night.
talking about that. Supposed to be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was alright. I had a few problems with it though.
I did as well.
It's like all the power went off in this country, and by day 3, the whole country had been like destroyed itself from the inside out, basically, with rioting and people going crazy. I thought if that situation was possible, if they could get stuff in from France, ship stuff over, America probably airdrop supplies if literally nothing in the country worked.
Yeah,
it's like we do it. America did it for like New Orleans when that whole place
we'd be
was cut off from the whole world.
We'd be paying through the nose for like private firms to provide generators, but we would have power to some.
Your private firms would be all over this country to ship over from Europe all these generators, all these tankers of water, petrol.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm sure, like the US Army or the French Army and stuff would help out as well. And it's like it made out we're so isolated, no one will come to help this country at all.
Yeah, what about the European Union? I was kind of thinking like exactly the same thing.
Right. By the end of day 2, and if it was like a terrorist attack, which is what they were saying, that more help would be coming around.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Well, that's cleared that up then.
And like also, they in the program, it was off for 5 days or 5 nights of power. So I'm sure most people have food enough for 5 days, but before they had to start going around murdering people and stuff like that, like people rioting because they're desperate.
It's true.
I mean,
I guess your fridge, like a lot of stuff would turn off, but then you've got supplies.
But I'm sure freezers and fridges, they can last at least, if you keep the doors shut for like 48 hours. Because if you keep the cold in.
Take a while to defrost, wouldn't it?
What you're saying is Channel 4 really should have consulted you first before they did the programme.
Well, they said they did bring in consultants, but I just don't think we'd be that isolated.
Yeah, I think to be honest, it's a fair point, Mark. Because I was thinking the same thing. Like it should have been stretched over a longer period of time,
like a month or something. Like that. That would have been a month without anyone having electricity. It would be crazy in this day and age. Like the whole backbone of the country would be destroyed. But 5 days, less than a week. Mike, in 2001, we didn't have electricity in Norfolk for 4 nights.
Yeah, we survived.
In October, we had a big storm, and the power went out Sunday lunchtime, and it wasn't back on until Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Did you guys go out like robbing and looting and stuff?
No, we
hunting in the woods.
We played a lot of board games.
That's pretty good.
We played football. It's like we had food in the cupboards and stuff like that. I know it was a sleepy village in Norfolk, like a bit like in Hot Fuzz or something like that, to an extent.
Pretty much.
Still,
it's not, inner city London, but still, people didn't go crazy. We had 3 days off school.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of, to me, the way they told the story didn't work for me in some ways, because they had a lady that was, her brother got hit by a car or something, and they were in the hospital. and they were using her kind of filming his progress or how he was doing as like a mechanic to tell the tale of what would happen in hospitals if there was no power and sort of backup generators and all that stuff. And that's fine, but it kind of was just a bit unnecessary. Like the way they'd done it, it was kind of done as like a Blair Witch. Everyone's got a camera or a camera phone, and it's like you wouldn't. There's bigger things to worry about than filming kind of, you know, what's going on and doing like video blogs and stuff like that.
Someone mentioned actually that in, you know, the program that, you know, obviously they've got no power and stuff for 5 days, whatever, and on like day 5 people are still filming stuff on their iPhones. I've never known a battery on an iPhone to last 5 days. I'm not being funny, but batteries on iPhones last like 2 at a push.
Well, yeah, that's if you don't really use it.
Yeah, that's if you turn everything off.
Yeah,
exactly. But the other thing that kind of, like, I guess the main thing that I took from it was kind of how shit humanity is really.
Yeah,
in times of crisis, like what people do to kind of look after themselves, and that was kind of, you know, it's kind of, it's like War of the Worlds and all those kind of, you know, disaster movies. People just turn into animals,
like,
really.
Lord of the Flies as well to an extent.
Yeah.
Suppose. But anyway, that's yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out on 4OD if you want. It's about an hour and a half long, I think. So
yeah, as a one-off on it wasn't, because I thought, oh, I can't be doing it with a series, but as a one-off, it was watchable. Yeah.
But anyway, from that to something I think we're all incredibly excited about is Eurogamer Expo in a couple of weeks.
Huzzah!
Well, less than 2 weeks actually.
Yeah, it is actually, isn't it? Yeah.
We will do a special post Eurogame Expo podcast about all the stuff we got our grubby mitts on.
Yeah.
Especially some of the next gen games. Lots of ooze going on.
Sorry, that's all I'm going to do now.
So we can start discussing some of the stuff we're really eager to get our hands on.
Yeah.
Is there any particular game that any of you have a burning desire to?
All the games.
No, that's you in a bed, Jay. Just games on the top of you, rubbing against DVD cases on
games. No, I'm quite looking forward to seeing some more of Destiny, and they've not confirmed whether you're going to be hands-on with it, but they've said that they will be doing some live demonstrations, which would be quite cool. Because I saw quite a lot of Destiny at sort of E3 and kind of the launch announcements for it, but it's kind of, I guess some of it is not clear which bits are kind of scripted and which bits are kind of just a free-for-all, really. So you kind of, it would be good to get a better idea of how the game actually works, especially in terms of co-op, because they've talked about a lot of things, a bit like Left 4 Dead again. It's got like an AI director and sort of all these kind of wonderful features to make cooperative kind of a different experience every time. But yeah, bring it on. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, I'm quite looking forward to Titanfall, because that looks like it could be right up my street, that game.
Yeah, it does. That's going to be playable as well. That's been
announced, that is a playable one.
It's pretty exciting.
I don't think I've heard of that. What's the setup for time? What's that about?
Do you remember the E3, the Microsoft presentation? I think they ended on Titanfall. So it was like it's a bit like a Call of Duty kind of first-person shooter, but you've got, instead of like weapon drops and stuff, you can call in a giant mech, which you can then jump into and run around kind of smashing and shooting on a large scale.
I don't remember it, but it sounds awesome.
It
looks awesome.
The same people who made Call of Duty and Medal of Honor. It's like, well, it's everyone who set up Infinity Ward and most of the staff have gone on to make, who after all that whole court battle and stuff like that, they've all gone to make Respawn Entertainment, and they're making Titanfall. So that does look pretty cool, and that does look up my street. And Destiny as well, because I keep thinking back to Borderlands whenever I think about Destiny.
Yeah.
Like the FPS nature and big sprawling worlds, and I can't wait to try Destiny as well. I hope that's playable.
Yeah, I hope it is too. It does have a Borderlands kind of feel about it. I know what you mean, and like all the sort of weird and wonderful weapons and customizations that you can do, and quite a big sort of lore as well. That sort of from what I've read, they've kind of set up a universe which is kind of akin to like the Star Wars universe. So you've got all these different races and how they kind of interact and the politics and stuff like that, which is kind of, I get quite excited about that sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah. And that
Nerdgasm.
yeah, big
that
time.
has a lot of scope, that game, for extended universe with like books. I imagine they'll do, and all the
Yeah.
races you're saying, and lots of sequels. I can imagine they're coming up.
Yeah, it's got like interplanetary travel as well, so you can buy a spaceship and just fly to a different planet, like fly to the moon or something.
Oh,
Which
sweet.
sounds quite cool.
I was just going to say, Zara, you were talking about some of the smaller games that are there at Eurogamer Expo.
Yeah, I'm going to be all over Rezzed, I think, this year. I think that's where the queues won't be as long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also,
true.
I think it'll be just a nicer. Because I mean, although I am excited for some of the new stuff, I don't know. I feel like I want to look at some of the smaller stuff as well, just because I think with the new stuff that they're all releasing, I think people may forget at Eurogamer about all the small little bits. So while you're all queuing for 2 hours to play something like, I don't know, like Destiny, I'm going to be playing about 6 games in Rezzed. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had a very nice atmosphere when I went there last year, because I played Prison Architect there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's back again
Ah.
this year, I think.
That's back again. I'm looking at the list now.
Yeah.
And Wolf of the Overworld's going to be there, which is like Dungeon Keeper 3.
Oh, is
essentially.
it? I didn't know that. That'll be cool, actually. I'll be well up for
That's going to
checking
be
that out.
there. And yeah, so that's the only game I've ever did a Kickstarter for.
Ah,
I'm looking forward to it. It does have some good looking games going up there. They got Volume, which is by Mike Biffle Guy, who did Thomas Was Alone, got his new game.
Hotline Miami 2, I noticed.
Yes, that's true.
Ooh.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I think people will miss if they don't go to that. Because I am looking at the list, and there's things like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Batman Arkham Origins, Battlefield 4, and I know I'm going to buy them.
Yeah.
I think regardless, or review them regardless.
Yeah, it's
And-
better to go and see the small stuff because,
And,
there's stuff you might not have as much information on and you might not have made your mind up on yet.
The
So,
stuff you might miss otherwise, exactly.
yeah.
So but I do want to try Rise, Son of Rome, like Microsoft's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, I keep thinking that could be really bad. That
I
it
know.
was a Kinect game.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? It was a Kinect game once upon a time. And yeah, I think we talked about this before, but all the sort of QTE kind of quick time events and things like that when you're doing battle, it just seems quite dated. So hopefully they'll have stripped a bit of that out.
Yeah, I hope so. It was, didn't. I don't know. It's an odd one. I don't know if that's just a bad bit they chose, or if it's going to be actually all out action, like Gears of War sort of style, or if it is literally an on rails button pressing game, which it seemed to come across a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think for that one, they've
We shall
confirmed
see, indeed.
Dead Rising 3, which looks really good.
Yeah, I am going to have to play that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the...
We had
the
we had a
big-
bit
the
of fun
big
playing Dead
titles.
Rising 2 the other week, didn't we, Zara?
Yes, we did. It
Running
was
around in our
fun.
mini skirts.
I was going to ask how your session went because me and Marty had one and it was the funniest thing ever. I had a pair of Tobias from Arrested Development, and he has his never nude cut-offs that he wears, those denim sort of jean shorts.
Yeah, that's what I was wearing.
That's what Marty was running around in, and like this lady's hat and stuff. And
So I was a never nude. and it was a cutscene when he was talking seriously about all the virus injection. It's like he's just got his like cut-offs and he's all being serious. It's never
the
nude.
funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that is a really funny game. Me and James were cycling around on little bicycles, like doing laps, like seeing how many zombies we could knock over. It was pretty funny.
I've read a bit about the third one, but because I'm not sure if I'm going to get an Xbox One for a little bit, I haven't read up too much on it. But are they keeping the time mechanic? Because I want to play, say with Mike or you guys, play around in that shopping mall for like hours and hours without having to rush around to do the mission. I just want
Well,
to play.
that's the kind of thing that puts me off sometimes. Is especially in the second one, you've got Katie needs her Zombex
Yeah.
pills,
Yeah.
and you get a phone call, Katie's dead.
We
It's
we
like,
did kill
no.
her. It wasn't on purpose, but we were just having too much fun
Yeah.
with like bows and arrows and stuff. And then Katie died, and we're like, oh no, never mind.
They put so much attention. Like every single shop's different with different content. You could weapons or different things to wear, and it's like you haven't got time to really sort of just enjoy the world they've created and just sit around and hit zombies with like beach balls.
Yeah.
That's so fun. Bowling as well.
It's such a fun game, but they limit your fun because they urge you to get on with it.
Yeah,
It's a sin, cardinal sin, I'd say.
Yeah, it is quite restrictive. I mean, it's up to you how you play, isn't it? Because you can fail the missions and carry on doing what you're doing.
That's what we do. We will never find out the truth now, guys. We will never find out the truth.
That's it. Yeah, it's like the truth is dead.
The truth is
I've
lost.
killed
We were
the
able
truth.
to go around hitting zombies with a giant novelty foam hand, so
Exactly.
it balances out.
You've got to do something.
And even sort of when you die as well, you get the option to like start the story over, but retaining your sort of skills and your levels and stuff. And it's kind of it's an odd way of doing things, but I think it's probably what people love about the series. I think to some extent. I mean, I've never considered myself a huge lover of the Dead Rising series, but I have played all of them so far. But I think that would be an improvement. I don't know what the community would think. I'm not that in tune with them. Come on, community, what do you think?
Yeah, let us know. I suppose I'm the only one who's interested in any Nintendo games, aren't I?
Yes.
No, I've got a 3DS.
Oh, you got a 3DS, of course, James. How
I'll be
silly of
I'll be
me.
checking out some of that.
What about A Link Between Worlds, the new Zelda?
Yeah, I
3DS
love
console.
Zelda. I'm a massive Zeldaist. So that would be quite cool.
Is that a thing?
What's,
Zeldaist? Is that a
It
thing?
is now.
I've just coined it.
It does sound legit, so yeah, use it.
Yeah, cool. There was something else coming out on 3DS. Oh, Smash Bros. Actually.
That's next year sometime.
Do you think
that's not going to be playable?
Boo.
But we did
Probably
hear
won't
that Princess Peach is joining the Smash Brothers, didn't we? Thank you,
we
Twitter.
did.
My mind was blown when I heard that news.
Was it from what I said about it, or was it?
What you said about it did make me chuckle.
Yeah, I said, I bet she did, filthy whore.
I don't know why we even bother announcing like Luigi's going to be in it. It's not. It's hardly some special character that's never been in the series before.
Oh
Are they going to have the Elite Beat agents yet, or what? Because if they're not interested.
We'll have to wait and see, Mike. It's not out for a while yet.
I love that game.
What was the little kid that you unlocked? I think it was in the first Smash Bros. 64. The little weird psychic kid. Was it Milo or something?
He was from a Japan only series.
Yeah.
Called, oh God, what the hell's the name of it?
Weird little backflip with
a yo-yo or something, an electric yo-yo.
Yeah.
Guys, for people who are listening, this is what happens when you get old. You can't remember things.
Anyway, they're always bringing someone new into the series, but it's not massive news, is it? Not for me, anyway. Elder Scrolls Online, that will be there in some way, shape, or form. I'll be interested to see how that works because I don't know much about the MMO world really. My only real sort of foray into the land of MMO was Defiance, and that was I think that was like a light touch MMO as well. So. I'll be keen to see what they can do with the Elder Scrolls universe. I've seen a few videos, but I don't know. You're a lover of Skyrim, Mike. What do you think? Are you interested?
Yeah, I am actually. I think the universe has got, as you say, quite a lot of lore to it. The chance to do something good with it is there. It's all about how they implement the mechanic, how decent the leveling up system is and what the options are, but I can't see them messing that up. I mean, they've got such a decent, heritage and background with the series that it's got to be great. Hopefully.
Yeah. I kind of wonder about the social aspects, like whether maybe you can. I don't know. I'll have to have a look, but Yes, as you say, it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the list here. One that's popped out is Coaster Crazy. I've never heard of it. It's coming out on the Wii U.
Is that like roller coaster? Is it spelled like roller coaster?
Is it
Roller
Costa?
coaster.
Costa Crazy, as in like Coasta?
No. Coaster's got roller coasters all over it. I've no idea what that is.
Could be the new roller coaster tycoon.
They will never replace Roller Coaster Tycoon ever. Nothing will happen.
It is an immense game, Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's immense. It's basically. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. That's Wii U as well. Let's skip on us.
Battlefield 4. That looks good. Pretty standardly good.
Are they bringing the PS4 version? They must be, mustn't they?
They'll
be showing off the PS4 one, won't they?
Yeah, with its kind of, what is it, 100-player multiplayer or whatever it is.
I think it's just...
Is that all?
Yeah, I think they must be doing that for all of them. Like Assassin's Creed 4 must be the PS4 one.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to... I mean, I'll just maybe play that a bit. Let's see. Forza Motorsport 5. I've never played any Forzas. Have you?
I played Forza 3. Yeah.
Yeah, very good driving games, very realistic.
Because how does it compare to Gran Turismo? Because the number 6 is out shortly, and I cannot face playing the 6th one. I loved number 3, enjoyed 4. I got a bit bored with 5, and I just can't be asked with number 6.
Forza
anymore.
is it's realistic, but it's not quite as tiresome as Gran Turismo. There's not all this like endurance race business. Like you do get like longer lapped races in Forza, but it's not ridiculous like it got in the Gran Turismo series, where you're tempted just to like get some blue tack, stick it on the X button, and like leave the damn thing, because you know you got the oval race tracks where it was just going around in a loop on Gran Turismo. That's the point where I thought, screw this, I'm going to play Crash Team Racing, you know?
Yeah.
Not as realistic, but a hell of a lot more fun.
I always preferred like sort of Project Gotham or sort of the Grid series. I thought kind of appealed to me a lot more. Although having said that, even Grid had its kind of difficult kind of driving situations. They had like the Le Mans sort of 24-hour challenge.
Oh, yeah. Which
actually translated to a 24-minute challenge in the game. So you had to drive 24 minutes on the Nuremberg Ring, which was like one of the most difficult courses, for 24 minutes and not mess up. And it's like you could do one lap and you're like, oh god, that was a bit grueling. Only another 50 to go. So it's just, I don't know, kind of realism in driving for me is quite difficult. I found Forza really, really hard actually when I played it. It looked wonderful and the sounds were fantastic. It had some like really cool like dubstep when you were driving around, so that was quite fun. But actually, I just found it a little bit too realistic.
Yeah,
too easy to come off.
Sonic Lost World, I see the new Sonic game.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Obviously, it's very hit and miss Sonic games.
Yeah,
more of a miss recently in the last 10 years, isn't it? To be honest.
Ooh, he
on
went
the
there.
whole.
I've kind of lost Sonic, to be honest. I used to love Sonic, but I don't know.
I sort of gave up after Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles were the last two.
Yeah.
Sort of, that's it for me, and then I was out of the series.
Same.
I am quite intrigued to play it, actually, see what it's like, because I've played Generations a bit on the 3DS, but Sonic Lost World, I just want to see what it's like. I don't know what you can't tell what it's going to be like Sonic games these days, can you? You know, like every Mario game is either like traditional platform or like N64 style.
Yeah,
but Sonic,
I know what you mean.
They just change, add different weird elements in every time. They have.
He's going to turn into a hedgehog this time. Yeah,
that's true.
You just never know what the game's going to be like. I don't think they know just as much. They just all do different things, don't they? Just if you throw enough ideas onto it, hopefully some will stick and be popular with the fans, and then they can use that for the next one. I don't know what it seems to be.
Maybe they've just got an ideas dartboard where they just let like the junior staff come in and just write something down, and they just go, "Oh, we're gonna next one's 3D, right? Brilliant."
Yeah, it does seem to be that way at times, where it swaps. What about Surgeon Simulator 2013? That's popular, I think, last time. The 2012 version.
Yeah,
New
it sounds
title.
familiar. It sounds familiar.
Cutting up brains.
Yeah, cutting out horrible things. Removing
Not-
appendices. Appendix.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
I think that's the plural. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, it's not the most appealing title to me, to be honest, because I'm a bit squeamish. But I can see why someone would. What format is that? Is that on the Wii
I think
or?
it's just PC.
Oh,
I don't know. I have to work out. I think it's just PC because it's too expensive otherwise to keep adding because they got all the licensing costs for Xbox and PS3. So I think it's too expensive.
yeah.
But Farming Simulators made the leap, as Mike well knows. But,
Yeah.
a big audience.
That review will be up sometime this weekend or Monday, hopefully. But yeah, I'm having. I don't know if fun is the right word, but I'm having an experience, and you'll hear all about it soon.
I can't wait to read your thoughts on the world of virtual farming.
It's I mean, it's a very disciplined world. If you go over 10 miles an hour, that ploughing attachment will uncouple. So,
When I texted Mike to let him know that review copy's coming, I sent quite a few puns. I can't wait to read.
Yeah, I'm not using those in the review. Just so you know.
That reminds me of a joke I heard yesterday. Someone said, I just saw a man driving a tractor down the road shouting about the apocalypse. His name was Farmageddon.
That's terrible.
Did you know that there's actually a place up, I think it's like Midlands, and it's like a horror place called Farmageddon.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Is that near you?
No, I said in the Midlands.
Midlands.
I don't know where you are these days.
I'm in
all over
Kent.
the shop. Oh, right.
I'm in Kent and London. That's where I'm based.
Kent is southeast.
Southeast. The southest of the eastest you can get of England.
Oh, I went to Kent a few weeks ago, actually. That's where the Eurotunnel is.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the Garden of England as you drove through it?
It looked horrible, actually, but I was only on the motorway. So
yeah, the motorway looks horrible, but...
Yeah. It's like when I was going down the M4 past Bristol, James, that doesn't look too stunning at times.
Yeah.
That's
It's
like the
pretty grotty,
M20 is not like a hot spot of tourists before it's get off it and get to some nice orchards or some hop farms. You'll have a blast. But if that's your thing,
I think there's a reason that there generally isn't a book called Great British Motorway Drives.
They're all amazing. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're consistently crap. That's what they are.
How dare you?
Yeah, Kent. Yeah, I've seen some bits of Kent. Yeah, I can say I've been there.
Good to know. Good to know. I'm glad the audience are here to hear it too. I'm sure they're really appreciative.
Oh, Dark Souls 2. Back to the Eurogamer. Dark Souls 2 will be there. Any Dark Souls fans? I know Gareth is.
I want to play Dark Souls, but I feel I won't have the time to die repeatedly.
Or the patience, I
or
suppose.
The patience when I've got I've got about 30 games on my shelf that I want to get through. At Dark Souls, the time I can do a couple of other games. Dark Souls, I'll be barely through it because I've died constantly.
Yeah, I get enough of that in Mirror's Edge, but I've played a bit of Dark Souls. I think I probably got about a quarter of the way into it, but it is very hard. I can see the appeal because it's like a good old fashioned challenge. But it's not something that appeals to me because I get quite frustrated.
Yeah.
And every time you die, you have to go and find your corpse to retrieve your items, and whatever killed you is inevitably sat on your corpse waiting to kill you again. So you can kind of see the frustration.
Yeah, I'd like to play it, but I've got too precious time now to be doing that sort of thing.
I think it just made me too angry. Like, after a while, after I'd failed like 15, 20 times on a level, I'd just like throw a paddy, I think. So
part of their marketing campaign was like a picture of like a broken window and like a PlayStation controller on the grass outside of someone's house. It was like, yeah,
yep,
that's frustrating.
This is in store for you if you buy our game.
Yeah. What else? Wolfenstein: The New Order. I'm intrigued by that.
That's Bethesda, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they've gone. The Nazis have taken over London. It's now like the 60s, so they got more advanced sort of old weaponry, if you know that makes sense.
Yeah. The old Wolfenstein on the original Xbox was quite good.
I've got Wolfenstein on the Xbox 360 waiting to be played. I've blasted that.
I've not played that one.
But the first proper multiplayer online experience I think I ever had was Return to Castle Wolfenstein on the PC. Did anyone ever play that?
Was that the same one as the one that was on the Xbox original? Sounds like probably was.
I'll find out. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I don't know if it was. I think it was only PC.
No, was it?
No, Xbox. It was on Xbox.
Yeah, that was quite good actually. Me and my friend did like co-op. We spent a whole day going through it. And it was actually quite fun. But then we got to a point, I think something to do with the Xbox save system. Got like probably about 10 levels in, saved it, turned it off, came back to it the next day. Oh, where's the save game?
It's not what you want, is it?
No, that was like 10 hours worth of work as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that actually. I think that was probably the first Wolfenstein I played actually.
Right. We've got time for one more. Has anyone got one other game they want to bring to our attention that they want to play? No? Because I've got Project Spark, which I saw at E3 and was intrigued by it, and it's going to be playable at Expo, which... it's interesting. It's one of those games, like Little Big Planet. When I first saw it, I was a bit confused because I couldn't quite work out what was going on when all the creative stuff was going on and all these different weird worlds. But that could be quite an interesting game.
I think, not being a game developer, it seems like there's too many options and too many variables. But it'd be good to see because they were saying how sort of.
And the problem is, Little Big Planet, I love playing that game, but creating it, unless you spend like 1 million hours, it seems, I can make the most basic platformer that would have been poor in like 1985. It's like it doesn't look any better either, and it's just like more basic. It's just like a few gaps between a bit of half squiggly floor. And like one enemy I've managed to program that just walks backwards and forwards and you just hop over. It's the most rubbish game ever. But hopefully Project Spark.
That's the thing about like the community interaction, hopefully with Project Spark, is that there'll be enough people that actually know what they're doing, that, you know, the levels that they make and the experiences they create will be sort of readily available to average Joes like you and me. Because I remember like trying to make levels on like Halo Forge and stuff like that, and you come up with some like wonky kind of platform with a few pillars, and then you play someone else and they've replicated a level from like Halo 2, like piece for piece out of like, I don't know, tiny tiles, and you think, oh god, they've got no chance.
No.
But I was interested in Project Spark because they were showing loads of stuff, weren't they? People making like old school games like sort of Marble Madness and kind of Space Invaders and stuff like that. And it's like, wow.
Exactly. Well, that's all good stuff we've got to look forward to in a few weeks' time, and we can all report back on our thoughts on what are our favourite games, what's perhaps rubbish games we played, which hopefully is not the case. But we even quite enjoyed Aliens Colonial Marines last year, but we all know how that turned out.
I thought that was going to be an absolute winner, to be honest, but I think we were misled a bit, actually.
I think a lot of people were misled.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did think there was part of me that I'm not going to say this now because I'm going to sound like I'm saying it after the fact. But there's part of me that thought this is really fun, but this looks a bit rough for a game that's going to be out in how many. I think it was out in a couple of months after the play date. But part of me thought, no, it'll be fine. And then it came out and was, an absolute shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope it goes better this time. I hope we get loads of games that actually are quite promising and then come out and are really good. I noticed that we got the new Rocksmith, which if I was going, that would be one of the things I would like to play.
I'll play it for you, Mike. Don't worry.
You knock out some tasty jams while you're there, Zara.
I will.
And get the crowd rocking along. So that's the thing. I'd play that and Hotline Miami, but so I'm not missing much. But I look forward to hearing what you guys are doing, though.
Yeah, we'll let you all about it, Mike. Oh no, really looking forward to it. I can't wait. But,
we're going on the Thursday and Friday this year, so if anyone sees us around, say hello. Hopefully we'll beat some of the queues as well.
Hope so.
We spent like 5 hours queuing for like Black Ops last time, didn't we?
Yeah, that's why I'm going to be impressed.
But anyway, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Zara, James, and Michael.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.